I guess we're just going to be talking about Quentin Tarantino movies for this entire episode of Naruto.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Solid. Whatever. It's better than Bleach. I can say with certainty Quentin Tarantino movies are better than Bleach.
Yes. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of argument there.
Except Death Proof and Dusk Till Dawn. They suck.
Really?
From Dusk Till Dawn is a vampire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with Death Proof. It's about like a car and running people. It's not.
I think I... Did he reference that on regular show?
They might have.
Was that the "Hello, Governor"?
No.
No, that was that based off of a Stephen King novel then?
That was based off Christine.
Christine, okay, that's right.
Which they're greenlighting a remake to now that it did so well. Is every Stephen King thing is gonna get a remake and a thing.
Give the Langoliers a better thing. Because that could have been a really good... That could have been a really good movie, but it just... Ugh.
I don't see the Langoliers being adapted very well.
I don't know. I'm sure they could do something with it. They have better CGI.
Even one of
better than Sharknado graphics.
Okay, I will see you that and raise you. Dark Tower is one of his best books, and that movie flopped.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Like,
But the thing is, with the Langoliers in that TV special, it had some moments that it seemed like it could have been
really
done
good,
fantastically.
And then the year it was made in, the amount of money they had to do, like, to work on it, and the fact that it was on, television, caught up with it.
Yeah. And that's my argument.
The medium caught up.
Plus, like...
But that's the thing.
I mean, Craig Toomey was phenomenal to watch. He was hilarious.
Yeah. Back on Quentin Tarantino and method acting.
Yes.
Depending on which actor you're talking about, a lot of it getting I can't think of autoerotic asphyxiation man. I can't remember his real name off the top of my head. Getting him to play a stoned old martial arts master? Really? The guy who used to...
David Carradine.
Yeah, getting David Carradine, an avid pothead, and martial arts enthusiast for decades, getting him to play a stoned martial artist? Really? Difficult method acting? You had him show up and be himself. All you had to do to get David Carradine to play Bill in that movie was have him answer to the name Bill. And if you look at his brother, something tells me that dude's lived in a trailer and drank a lot. Like...
Yeah.
There's...
My name is Buck, and I like to party.
No, we don't talk about the Kill Bill Volume 1 edit. No. Samuel L. Jackson, how much prodding, how much directorial muscle does it take to make him say motherfucker? Like,
yeah.
How much convincing?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of... I love Samuel L. Jackson. I don't think he's a bad actor, but I don't think that he really had to stretch his...
I've seen him in some
stretch himself too much in those, or in any of the movies that he was in with Quentin Tarantino.
No. Next mission. I'm done running around breaking things.
Well, hold on real quick. Let me see this real quick. Real quick.
You don't want to fight,
Well, no, we're going to, but I'm just gonna...
You don't want to fight Snakeman?
It's Snakeman. One of Naruto's only genuinely good villains.
And even then, he kind of overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, he absolutely did, to the point that he was like a fucking joke character. But, at first...
I mean, it is
He was terrifying!
It is good to show anime, like, having solidarity with the trans community. Especially in Bort, when they ask his kid, is Orochimaru your mother or father? And he just answers yes. Oh, on the limits of method acting.
Yes.
Fuck Jared Leto.
Yeah, he can be a dick.
No. It's not just Suicide Squad.
I know.
Did you hear his thing with, the new one he's doing, Blade Runner 2049?
No, I haven't. Enlighten me.
He wore, I can't remember if he wore opaque contact lenses or just glasses, but he blinded himself for the entire time they were shooting because he was playing a blind character. So he put in opaque contact lenses to the point at which he could not see, so that he could get into character of playing a blind man.
Shit.
You jackass. To the point at which he did not have any of the training blind people put themselves through of learning Braille and learning, the proper movement, because you have to... There's an etiquette and a technique to walking around with a cane as a blind person.
So
you
it's just like walking around slapping things?
No.
Much?
They had to hire a production assistant to follow him around at all times, read to him, feed him,
Oh, that sounds
pole
terrible.
position for him whenever they're walking around. Like, dude, I get trying to go far and really get into character, but no. Like, that's a step too far, you're trying too hard.
It's like uselessness.
Yeah, like, what? Who are you trying to impress, man? I mean, with Suicide Squad, I can understand the context of Margot Robbie and used condoms if I used them while having sex with Margot Robbie. But...
Well, this fight was fun to watch, me doing my awakening 3 times.
Yeah. Speaking of Suicide Squad and Margot Robbie, you can find it on YouTube. There's a reviewer that took the time to measure the amount of screen time that Margot Robbie's ass gets versus
Jared Leto?
some of the supporting characters.
Oh.
Like Slipknot in the beginning has less screen time
than
Margot Robbie's ass specifically. Katana has less screen time than Margot Robbie's ass in that movie.
That's terrible.
Yep.
Well, they knew what they were going for.
Yeah, no plot.
Stupid ass movie.
It
was a wasted movie, dude.
It was wasted potential, yeah.
Absolutely.
If Amanda Waller just would have been the villain the whole time, to some effect, if it was more cleaning up on... Like, Batman Assault on Arkham is an animated DC movie that does the Suicide Squad story better.
Yeah.
The Riddler stole a bunch of data off of Waller.
Yep.
He stole a bunch of data from her and hid it in his cane.
Okay.
His super high-tech magic cane thing.
Yeah.
And he got locked up in Arkham Asylum because he's criminally insane, and they impounded into the evidence locker in this highly secure facility his cane with all of the information that he stole.
Okay.
So, to save her own ass, convenes or assembles, or however you want to phrase it, the Suicide Squad, and then forces them to break into Arkham Asylum to steal back the information that was stolen from her.
Okay.
That's a better plot.
Yeah, it is.
And they frame Amanda Waller and Batman as the villains from the hero's perspective. Because Batman is on a tangential story in which, unbeknownst to Harley Quinn and the rest of the Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn carries around a giant mallet that I'm sure you've seen. The Joker got his hands on a dirty bomb. Like a makeshift uranium nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And Batman's trying to find it. Turns out the Joker hid it inside the head of Harley's hammer.
Oh.
So she's unknowingly walking around with a very unstable uranium bomb. So Batman is hunting her down to try and find that, and then stumbles across their plot to try and break into Arkham, and it's a better story than we got in the live-action movie.
Yeah, it is.
Just, guys, you have 75 years of source material with some of these characters. Stop making up bullshit, first and foremost. If you're gonna pull from an existing story like they kind of were with Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
at least steer it a little closer to an original story. Here. Because I am better at these.
Okay, that's all yours.
The fact that Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which is the worst movie name, did a
Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah, it's not verse, it's V. Thank you for that.
It was a from what I read, it was a typo.
Oh god,
That he just went with it because
Zack Snyder is
trendy.
Because Zack Snyder
Yep.
can't make movies that are good. He's incapable of making good movies.
Insufferable.
300 was okay. So in BVS, part of that story was based on The Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
Which is arguably one of the best Batman stories ever written. You know, it's Frank Miller's to his chagrin, seminal work, and they pull quite a bit from it. You know, I just said I was better at these.
Yeah,
the kryptonite grenades with the gas, you know, the grappling gun he uses when he's on the tower. A lot of those were taken from straight stills from the comic book, graphic novel, whatever. But if they would have gone deeper into that, left out whatever it was with the Joker Lex Luthor, I might fail this. You know, it could have been a better movie.
It could have been a much better movie if...
Don't put Doomsday in it. Don't put Doomsday in the first one. Don't do the death of Superman after his second appearance.
Way too much. Yeah, exactly.
It was like I have the director's cut, the extended edition, which is a little better, but it's a 3-hour movie that should have been 2 hours. There's a third of that movie that just did not need to be there. Like, plot lines that serve nothing. Why do we care that Jimmy Olsen was the military officer pretending to be Lois's cameraman when she's in Africa? Why did we need that Africa scene? Why do we need Superman being, you know, framed for some attack? You know, you could just blame the actual destruction that happened on him. My
biggest gripe... What reason does Superman have to hate Batman? We know that Batman has a vague
their character motivations were never fleshed out or realistic. They were always bullshit. They were both... You know what it comes down to? And here's an explanation you might actually get on board with. Okay. They are both very powerful, very influential people who are driven by their fucking ego because they're always thinking they're doing the right thing, and they're hypocrites. Yes. That's what it is. They are imperfect hypocrites who are both thinking they're doing the right thing. Superman is going after Batman because he thinks his methods are too severe. Because Superman is torturing people. Or Batman, sorry, swap. Batman is torturing people and branding them so that when they go to prison, they know they're marked and they'll get murdered. Superman, on the Batman other hand, hates Superman.
Property damage.
Not only property damage, but just a lack of caring for collateral damage at all. And unrestrained power. Like, a level of which that he's never seen and is therefore afraid of. If they would have played that as the character motivations, where you make both characters... You play the fact that they're being selfish hypocrites. But they didn't. Those character motivations make sense in the movie. They just aren't addressed.
Yeah.
The fact that, yes, Batman is going too far by branding and torturing people. And that fight scene in the warehouse, you know the one I'm talking about, is the best Batman fight scene ever shown. That Batman fight scene is better than every Michael Keaton fight scene ever combined. All of them put together.
Yeah.
That 5-minute scene in that building. I almost said the Christian Bale, but the Christian Bale movies had a couple of fights that are good enough to almost match up. Like, Batman and Catwoman's tag team in The Dark Knight Rises is really cool. When he rips the gun out of her.
So dumb.
It is so dumb. This is before she's allowed to do things. Cha. Yeah, this is so awful.
Oh my god.
But the character motivations, the plot in Batman vs. Superman was the problem. The acting wasn't bad. With the exception of Jesse Eisenberg, but you could even chalk that up to Zack Snyder's directing. Because Jesse Eisenberg is a good actor.
Jesse Eisenberg would have been a good
Riddler?
Other character.
Hell, even play him as Lex Luthor, just shave his head and make him cunning instead of weird. Because he can play cunning.
Yeah.
You know, he for all they're worth, the Now You See Me movies, which have problems of their own.
They do.
But
he plays a very entertaining character in them.
And in that, one of his favorite lines in there is magic is all about being the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
That's Lex Luthor level, like, smug intelligence, but it's also backed up because more often than not, he is the smartest man in the room.
Yes.
So it works. If they would have had him play Lex Luthor or anything like that, give him shady business acumen and, you know, real, tangible cunning and intelligence, it would have been better. Henry Cavill playing Superman is good. He looks the part. He's got a great steely glare, which is important.
Yeah,
That looking off into the middle distance, that's one of the things that made the 1970 Superman so goddamn good. Is, you know, his facial expressions and just his the squarest of jawlines. It worked.
It did, yeah.
It worked super well. And I love Batfleck.
Yeah, and I remember a lot of people that were very skeptical about
Dude, I was skeptical. Because
I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that either, but I thought he played a very...
My favorite 2 movies that Ben Affleck are in, though, and this is just the context. You know, he's been in action movies, and I've never really liked his action movies. I don't even like Saving Private Ryan. Oh, no, he's not in that, is he?
Yeah.
I don't like Pearl Harbor. I definitely don't like Pearl Harbor.
Well, yeah.
Love Triangle.
Fucking,
but my favorite 2 movies that have him in there, or 3, are Dogma, Good Will Hunting, and Chasing Amy. None of those are action movies.
No.
Dogma, he plays an asshole fallen angel. In Good Will Hunting, he plays an idiot from Boston. And in Chasing Amy, he plays a comic book artist who falls in love with a lesbian.
Yeah, it doesn't really...
That doesn't suit you for Batman.
No, it doesn't.
And even then, you look at his one superhero outing, which is fucking Daredevil in 2003... These factors do not inspire confidence.
No.
Luckily, he did it. If he would have been Batman instead of Christian Bale in 2008, he would have been terrible. The fact that he was Batman in 2016, after he had made movies like Gone Girl and Fargo, real dramatic, like heavy hitters, you know, best picture nominees, then it worked. And after 20 minutes of movie talk,